Hi, this is Sam from NeoZeno, and this week we did a new timeline about a custody battle over a 6-year-old in Texas. Now, this story got a lot of controversy because the 6-year-old was diagnosed with gender dysphoria, but the dad refutes that diagnosis, and the mom is suing for full custody, claiming child abuse because of non-affirming actions. Now, I want to go over 4 points that I found interesting about this story while constructing this timeline, but before that, I'll give you a brief rundown of the situation. The parents were separated in 2015, and their divorce and custody agreement was finalized in 2016 over the 2 twin boys that they had. They are fraternal twins, and in March 2018, one of them was diagnosed with gender dysphoria. The father disagreed with this diagnosis, and that's why the last year of custody battle has played out between these 2 parents. When I first looked into the story, I easily found articles in support of the mom and the dad, but I suddenly noticed that they were all coming from the same court documents that were the mother's legal filings against the father, and I started to feel a gap in where's the dad's perspective. So I eventually found a site that hosted all of the legal documents, including the father's responses and some transcripts of some hearings. And I poured through all of those and found these 4 interesting facts that I want to bring up. And I think it shows a different side to the story. The first point I want to bring up is that the father requested a second opinion of the diagnosis, and the mother flat out refused. She didn't just refuse, though. She also hired her lawyer to write a legal notification explaining that she had exclusive rights to the children's psychiatric care, and he had no recourse whatsoever to get a second opinion, and she was not going to get one. So I think this is an important point because when you look up the criteria for gender dysphoria diagnosis, according to the American Psychiatric Association, you find that in children, they must have at least 6 of the following symptoms consistently for at least 6 months. A strong desire to be of the other gender, a strong preference for wearing clothes of the other gender, a preference for cross-gender roles and make-believe, a preference for toys and games associated stereotypically with the other gender, a strong preference for playmates of the other gender, a strong rejection of toys of their biological gender, a strong dislike of one's own sexual anatomy, and a strong desire for the physical sex characteristics of the other gender. Now, you have to have 6 of these symptoms persisting for at least 6 months. The main point in this story is that the child likes to be a boy with his father, but prefers to be a girl with his mother. He goes to school as a girl, and his father, during his arranged custody times, he will choose to be a boy. So that shows inconsistency and is an important part to diagnosis. So I think the call for a second opinion is warranted, and I think it's unreasonable that the mother refused. The second point continues to show some of the mother's unreasonableness. She consistently refuses to give the father custody during his scheduled times. This is documented in a police report back in March, nearly 2 days after the diagnosis of gender dysphoria. The mother is consistently concerned about the child being outed at his school for being a boy because he goes dressed as a girl and goes by a female name. So despite repeatedly breaking their custody agreement, she has no problem using one instance of the father cutting the child's hair against court orders as justification for putting a restraining order for him to not go to the child's school or talk to any parents from that school. Now, this is interesting to me because I'm not sure how cutting hair and going to the school are related, why it's used as justification, and in the court documents, it's specifically stated that they are concerned about him outing the child at the school to other parents. Now, the third point I want to bring up is the father's account of the legal proceedings with the mother during their divorce. He says that the mother relentlessly pursued legal action against him to the point of harassing his employers, his prospective employers, so that he could not obtain a job. Now, this is super excessive and shows a new level of vindictive behavior on the part of the mother, and I think supports the case I'm building that she's trying to manipulate the situation against the father. Now, the last point I'm going to bring up is that the mother filed a false assault charge against the father in December 2017. The charge was acquitted by jury in apparently less than 15 minutes, which further supports the unreasonable behavior on the part of the mother during this entire charade. Now, I understand and sympathize with the sensitivity around gender identity and the transgender topic, but I don't believe that we should use that sensitivity to enable bad behavior like manipulative and vindictive actions in order to exile a father away from his child. I'm not making the case that the child is not transgender and that the father is completely right and the mother is completely wrong. I am just trying to point out that there are additional aspects of the story that change the situation that aren't really being reported or focused on, and we should not make assumptions or judgments about any case based on general controversial issues. I think we should be able to step back from the controversy and all the emotions surrounding it and judge each case individually based on its particular circumstances. Now, I think that there is a good case in this particular situation of the mother being manipulative and the father being reasonable, and that is just demonstrated throughout all of the court documents. He is always asking for things like a second opinion or a legal representative to assess the custody agreement rather than the onslaught of lawsuits that she has put against him. Now, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and share and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Go to neozeno.com to check out our story. And if you want to support us, please go to Patreon. For just $1 a month. You can get early access to our new app where you can rate news articles based on their bias, quality, and impact. And we're getting ready to launch that soon publicly. So get on there early, help us out, and support us. And thanks for watching.